everybody, welcome to sunny California. My name is Chris and this is the Daily Refinement channel. This is episode number 13 and building a full-time $1,000 a week income starting from zero. Hope garage sales are fruitful for you guys. They've been for me this morning. We are now in week 3, so we are listing $50 a day. Just so you guys can see how this challenge works, we start with the first week listing 4 times a week, $10 profit per item. $10 profit total. The number of items doesn't matter because too often people get stuck in how many items they list and they forget about the profit. But today I have a really good analogy for you guys that I think will help you get to the next level. So we're gonna increase each week by $20 profit. So the first week you list 10, 10, 10, 10. Next week 30, 30, 30, 30. We're now in the $50 profit per day. And we're gonna keep going until we reach $250 profit per day, 4 times a week. There's your $1,000 a week income. But let's get straight into it. For me, I am focusing on shoes, running shoes, dress shoes. I'm not gonna do a lot of retail arbitrage because I just prefer selling used shoes because I like hunting for these. Sitting in line at the Nike outlet is not my favorite thing to do. Plus, here there's so much competition and traffic sucks. So I'm gonna try to limit my routes to reverse traffic and I'm focusing on 15 stores. So 15 stores, my goal is to get as many used shoes as possible. But again, 50 is about 3 to 4 shoes because I'm aiming for $15 profit or more per item. And I do have to spend up. Sometimes I'm spending 20, 30, 40 bucks to do that, but it's only gonna be a quick turn item. As an example, today I picked up 3 pairs of Uggs. The lady was selling all 3 of her pairs. So all 3 are the same size, including this nice leather pair, which I haven't seen before. This is going to be easy to list because I can sell similar. The item specifics are almost the same. They're all the same size. Also, I've been flipping a lot of basketballs. I don't know why there are so many available right now, but when it rains, it pours. I just sold one for 50 bucks. So basketballs are really in demand. It depends on where you live, so definitely watch out for that. But I want to share with you guys this new series I'm watching on Netflix called Street Food. It is incredible. And I want to relate this story to you guys because I think it's really on point. So I'm going to mix a couple of the stories together so I can sort of paint the picture of what these people are going through. There are 6 women in the series that are in their 70s, okay, that are crushing it. One of the ladies just got a Michelin star as a street food vendor. This is Jay Tai. She's probably the most famous street chef in the world, or maybe at least on the series she is. And her story is exactly relevant to what we are doing now. So in her country and in Vietnam, there are 1 million people, she's in Thailand, that make their living selling food on the street. 1 million. This is exactly like what people are doing on eBay right now. It's not new. eBay's been around for almost 2 decades now, but people are selling their wares on eBay. But the variance between people who struggle to sell anything and people who sell thousands of items per day, okay, we're talking about the top stores on eBay sell more than 5,000 items a day. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there are people who can't even sell 1 item a day with big stores. My friend Luke, he had 4,000 items in his store and he still had a day where he blanked, right? It can still happen. There's a lot of things that happen with the algorithm. It's a little bit tricky, but I want to relate this to Jay Tai because she was selling chicken noodles and she wasn't a very good chef. This is the same lady that won a Michelin star and Martha Stewart called her the best chef in Thailand. The same lady was making chicken noodles on the street and was called a terrible cook by her family. And this is what it's like when people just start reselling. There's millions of people selling goods and they're just selling chicken noodles. That doesn't stand out. That's like not a desirable thing that people would want to buy and spend their hard-earned money on. And this is also something pretty intense. She was a seamstress and was forced into cooking because of a fire, which is pretty common in these sort of sweatshops. There's disasters and earthquakes and fires and and people lose everything. So she was sort of forced into cooking because it was all she could really do to earn some cash, and she was really struggling. And I feel like a lot of people get started in reselling this way, including myself. I was just looking for something in between gigs. I was doing Facebook marketing for car dealerships, and it was doing okay. I could pay my bills, but I couldn't get to that next level. I started watching some YouTube videos on how to flip stuff, and then I realized, wow, this is a legit, I can make as much money in this business as I want. There's no limit because there's so many physical products. So this lady, she was really struggling to survive. Okay, she wasn't abundant. She wasn't making any money, and then she added these really nice prawns to her noodles and started gaining some traction. And she was basically standing out from everyone because she had this exceptional prawn side dish. And you see the gears start to turn. She starts to add more and more dishes to her menu. Now she has over 100 dishes that are unique to her. They're all super authentic. They're all homemade. She cooks all the meals herself, and she's in her 70s. Okay, her birthday is she was born in the 1940s, and now there's people waiting in line, and she's charging ridiculous amounts of money for street food because she has that notoriety now and a Michelin star. That's not inspiring. I don't know what is. This new documentary is unbelievable. Can you imagine in your 70s working in the restaurant business? That's like 14, 15 hours a day of cooking food, and if you don't deliver, people are just going to stop coming. You have to reprove that you're good at cooking every single day. She prepares every dish herself, and her most famous one is this crab omelet. And I was watching it with my fiance yesterday, and we were like, we need to go. We were thinking that should be our honeymoon destination. Maybe we can go to Southeast Asia and make a stop and just support this lady for doing this incredible thing. I just, the makers of the show, I think they did Chef's Table. They were criticized for not having enough diversity on the show. And so in this series, there's not one white guy cooking, which I guess was sort of their focus before. So it's a lot more ethnic cooking and a lot more women featured. But all of the episodes that we have watched so far have been women chefs in their 70s, literally working harder than I've ever worked. I've never worked that hard one day, and they've been working that hard every day the whole time they've been alive. They don't know anything else. She hasn't taken a day off in 40 years. That is like such badassery. The government, or somebody pretended to be a government official and said, hey, do you mind closing the restaurant for a day because we want to speak to you? And then they surprised her with a Michelin star. That is like the coolest story ever. But my point is, guys, this is exactly the same thing. There are a lot of bad chefs preparing chicken noodles on eBay, and that's okay. You have to get started there, and you have to be innovative. You have to think of ways to present a better menu so people will buy your stuff. This is exactly relevant. If she can do it, starting with nothing on the street, selling chicken noodles, and then slowly thinking up ways to make a menu that people want, that's the name of the game. It's very, 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 very inspiring. I am psyched. So back to the challenge, guys. We are listing $50 of profit 4 times a week. You can start anytime. This is for the challenge, just to give you guys an idea of what I am looking for with James. We list roughly $3,000 a day in revenue at roughly 1/3 profit is what James and I do 5 times a week. So it depends on what model you are at, but it's all the same. That particular model, I don't want to grow because I don't want to hire more people. So it's kind of like the max of that situation. Just like I think the max a person can really handle per week is 100 items. Okay, so if you are a medium cook, meaning you're just finding normal stuff and you're earning a $10 profit, right? That's like chicken noodles. Okay, but when you start cooking really special stuff, you might only be preparing 25 crab omelets in a week that are $50 profit. To earn your $1,000 a week could just be 20 $50 products. Okay, so you might be able to go that route. That's going to require a little bit more training, a little bit more skill, a little bit more practice, a little more experience, a little more knowledge. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's so relevant. When I heard that there are 1 million people trying to make money selling food on the street, and myself as a patron just walking home from work, where am I going to spend my money? You better do a great job presenting to me something that I really, really want to eat. And I was blown away at how like people would support. They wanted this small business to work. You know, there were times when, you know, government officials would shoo them away because they didn't have the proper licensing. And the customers would be like, it doesn't matter where you are, we will find you and eat your food. And that's just a beautiful thing. Imagine putting that personal touch on things that you sell. So hopefully that's inspiring, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.